Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Ship Drink Nation. I am Manny Olvera, and with me,
I'm Blake. And this is a podcast dedicated to all things having to do with the food and bar industry. And here we are, another episode.
Another episode, man. You guys can see we're in a different setting. We're still trying to find like the right
Formula,
you know?
Yeah.
It might take some time, but I think we'll get there. I feel confident.
Yeah, as you can see, we got the bar in the background now. I think I like that vibe a little bit better, so hopefully this looks all right. But fuck, man, what have you been up to?
Not much.
I haven't seen you, I feel like, in probably like a week and a half. You've been busy. I've been busy.
Yeah.
Done anything new lately? Gone anywhere new?
Business, man. Just business. Really staying busy.
Yeah.
Just being an adult. Basically,
Being an adult sucks.
Yeah, but
It's so overrated.
yeah, man. It's like it's never enough. Like you always want to have something going. You know. Well, that's what keeps me going. Like just gotta have a project, and sometimes it can be like frustrating. You know. Sometimes I get tired, but you just gotta keep going, man. Just new ideas. You know, new things going. And
You're a different breed. You juggle
'cause
a lot.
if
I can't
just
juggle all
sit-
that.
Dude, if I just sit, I go depressed, or if I don't know, like I don't know. I just gotta have something going on.
Yeah.
You know.
See, I'm kind of the same way. I don't like to take on like projects, but I don't like sitting at the house though. I like to be out like doing something. But I think your release for that same thing is like taking on new projects, whether it's, I mean, you've got a few restaurants, you've got a sports bar.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a bunch of stuff going on.
Now we got the podcast going.
Now the podcast is going, which is more overwhelming than what we thought it was going to be. But it's fun though. It's exciting.
It's a good thing, man. When you any project that you have, the struggle at first, they always said it's a good thing, man. Because when it's easy, when it's like if you don't feel it doesn't fulfill me, it's like, man, it's a good thing to struggle.
Yeah.
And when it comes, you know, when you succeed out of the whole struggle, it feels better, like it's yours. You know, like damn, you know, we struggled at first, but here we are now. You know.
Yeah, and
That's what I like.
We're at that stage now, or at least myself personally. It's a little bit of a struggle right now, you know, trying to get people on the show, and it's a new experience for us, but it's that thing you're always questioning in the back of your mind, like, are we doing this right? Will this succeed?
Yeah.
What can we do differently? Like, how are we approaching it? And like you said, I think if we just keep attacking this and just trying different things, I think we'll figure it out.
Yeah, like you say, we having troubles booking guests, and you know, we should tell them, like, if you're in the industry, like a bar owner, you know, bartender, come by and let's talk about this. You know, let's talk about the industry. And I don't think people take us seriously. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like nervous. Oh, I don't want to be on camera. It's like, because I felt the same way the first time. I got like diarrhea and all this shit. I was so nervous, and like, man, like, why are you nervous about it? You know, I have to tell myself, like, you ain't fucking Jay Leno. This ain't the Tonight Show. You know, it's just a podcast. We're just sitting here talking shit. Why am I so nervous? You know.
Yeah.
But that was the first time we did it, and now I feel more comfortable. You know, and then maybe once people see that, hey man, I can go in there and talk shit about the industry, and
yeah, there's already a different feeling. I mean, now that we're shooting our next episode here, it's I already have a different feeling than I did that first time. It was a little overwhelming at first, and I think we know what to expect a little bit more. And it's
I think Keith threw us off with all the lights and the camera. I'm like, God, what are we filming here? Like, what's going on? I'm so nervous. You know,
it's like, whoa, this is serious.
We got lights shining on our faces and shit. I was like, man,
hey, but it's all good.
Yeah, calm down.
But man, speaking of the bar industry, so you said you've been busy.
Yeah,
I got out to a few places recently. You know, I like to get out and about. So I checked out this bar. It was called Field Box. It's out in St. Peter's. That was pretty cool. It's a small place. I walked in. First thing I saw was a dog laying on the ground, which was cool. It's a dog-friendly bar. And then I went to Molly's that same day. People have dogs in there as well. It's another dog-friendly bar. So I don't have a whole list, but
friendly dog. Like, do they serve food?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in the business. I heard that was like a big no-no. Like the health department would be like, you can't have dogs unless they're service dogs.
Well, I don't know if Illinois is different than Missouri, but I know there's there's a whole list of dog-friendly bars over in Missouri, and I know you have a dog. I personally don't have a dog, but you ever want to take Blue to a bar?
Yes and no, because he's so unpredictable, man. You know, he looks like a big teddy bear and stuff. Maybe we can have a picture. You guys see my dog. He seems like a teddy bear, like a friendly dog, but sometimes he can snap and start barking at somebody. I'm like, dang, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to
Yeah, but Field Box was cool. I mean, it's a small little place, but you could tell everybody was real tight knit there as far as the community goes.
Yeah.
And the bar, the whole vibe. Yeah, they had a kitchen there. Their kitchen was different though. It was like cash only. But the lady from the kitchen, she came out. I think it's a small operation, but
is this like a hole in the wall type of place, or like?
Yeah, I guess you could say it probably is. But man, it was a good vibe. The bartenders there, they were all friendly as heck. The first thing the bartender said to me, she asked me what my name was, and she introduced her name. It wasn't like, hey, what do you want, you know?
Yeah.
But she made it personable. She kept calling me by my first name. She was pretty cute too, so that always helped. I was like,
yeah.
But I ate some food there. The food was good, and then I left there. I went down to Molly's. Like I said, that was another dog-friendly bar. People bring their dogs in there all the time. You know, they put water bowls out for the dogs on the ground so the dogs can drink. Their
man,
water's
I haven't been
there.
down there in a while, man. Like Seward, talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last time I went down there, I felt old, dude.
I feel old when I'm down there too.
Because I guess it's like a college type of place, you know, for kids, like 21, 23, average.
Yeah.
So last time I went in there, I felt like a piece of shit. What am I doing with all these kids? But you know, I guess it's a time place.
Yeah.
So, and like even with the nightclub scene too, like I don't feel comfortable there anymore. I have more of a bar, maybe like a 37 now. So you know, it's more chill.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Molly's during the day though is not bad. It's pretty chill. They got the big patio out there.
Yeah.
I mean, at night, of course they have the DJ and you know the lights go on and it's a whole different vibe. It's definitely a younger crowd, but I still love that shit.
Yeah, man, you still look all young, man. You can pass for maybe 28.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I am 28. What are you talking about?
38.
Hey, psh. But no, I was out of town this weekend too. I was out of town for 4 days. I went on a float trip. You ever been on a float trip?
I have in Missouri probably 3 years ago, man.
Yeah.
It was with the family. With my cousins. You met my cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to my cousins. Emmy, Bobby's, Omar, Carlos. Yeah, we have fun.
So these float trips, man, they're so much fun. You went with the family, but you never been with like a big group of just friends, have you?
No.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but my cousins are like friends. Those motherfuckers are wild.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been.
So these float trips, they're a different thing, man. It's so weird, like float trips, because I think that's something that's so native to just this area. Yeah. Like if you go anywhere else in the nation and you ask people if they ever been on a float trip, they look at you like you have 8 heads. Like they don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what that is.
That is a Midwest thing.
It's such a Midwest thing
more than anything.
Yeah. And man, it was a wild time. You know, you just buy a bunch of beer and throw a tent up and float on the river one day. We floated like 6 miles. We had a group of like 20 of us, and it was drinking beer, passing around the fireball. People make Jello shots. You got the gummy bears soaked in vodka. And it's so funny too, because it's like you can always tell the people that have never been on a float trip before if it's their first time, because you literally are on the river all day long. I think we left out of our raft at like 10 in the morning, and I don't even know what time we got back. I mean, it was probably like 5 or 6 in the evening. You don't even
look that sunburned up.
I put sunblock on.
Oh.
But you can always tell people when it's their first time, because they have to realize that it's a marathon and not a race, and people don't know what to expect. And there was a couple people that were just drinking way too fast and didn't make it the whole time and passed out and were throwing up everywhere. And
anybody tripping, like you can tell or something? Because I've heard like some people going on float trips who do mushrooms and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
is that a thing?
There was a group of guys down there that they had shirts. I don't know what they were celebrating, but it said Boomer Shroomers or something, but it was a bunch of old guys. So I don't know if Shroomer was their last name or if these old guys were just down there tripping on mushrooms or something on the river. But
it's wild,
man. It's a fun time. I love doing float trips, but man, it's so cheap to go down to, especially when you got a group of people. It was only like $70, and the people that I went with, they took some of that
out there too, or
yeah, you camp. You just get campsites. I went down a day early before everybody else too. And it was only like $16 for me to stay one extra night down there and camp.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah. And then with that money, everybody got food. So the group I went with was Bar Buddies, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
So it's that group around here in the we're on the Illinois side here, so they're out of the Illinois, and I love their organization that they have going on, because what they do is they host different events. They'll do like pub crawls, bicycle poker runs, or they did this float trip. And then,
what's their cost? Like, what's the whole thing about?
So they take a lot of it has to do with any profits that they make from any of their events. They'll put it towards a kind of a charitable cause.
Oh, anything, not just like a specific
Yeah. So
thing?
for example, like they raised some money when they did like one of the pub crawls, and they took those profits and they took 10 schools that were around the local area, and they used the money to pay off lunch debts, like unpaid lunch debts that maybe some of the students had.
Dude, we should give them a shout out. Maybe we can have their info.
Yeah, and so I love doing their events because I know any profits that they make, it goes for a good cause, like especially around this area. So, yeah.
Wow.
What are you drinking on over there?
Tequila.
That's a big ass glass of tequila.
No, it's just water, man. I'm fasting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Makes me feel better. Gives me some balance. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because for a while there, we're going out a lot, which is great, you know, but then you got to find balance. So we're like, hey, man, maybe I shouldn't drink today.
Yeah.
But like, you know, talking about the industry, me and you, when we started this podcast, we started going to a lot of bars, man.
Yeah.
And I went to a lot for the first time. And one of my favorites lately is Top Shooters. Is that the one of...
Oh, it's in Columbia, Illinois.
Yeah,
there.
I
love that place,
dude,
too.
That's a good bar, man.
They got a lot of good things going for them there. I personally don't know anybody who really works there.
I wish we could have somebody from there come here and talk about, you know, maybe a couple bartenders.
Yeah, so they, I don't know, but their formula for success is pretty good there, because you commented on it, and I even told you could literally go there on like a Tuesday during lunch, and they're packed.
And they're in a spot that is not even like that you wouldn't expect them to be. So it's by itself. It's like kind of hidden, you know. It's next to the highways, like you wouldn't. But they're doing great, man. What's the fucking?
And they got a huge patio out there for bags. I think they've got a volleyball court out there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they're killing it out there, man. I always have a good time, and the food is great too.
Yeah. So what else you got going on?
Not much. Like I said, you know, business. You know, I'm in the restaurant industry, bar industry. I got another project in the works. I'm gonna open another restaurant in Smithton. That's keep me busy. But
so let me ask you this: you're in the bar industry. You own. Well, I guess technically you could. This is more of a bar.
Oh, yeah,
one of them is,
bar, yeah.
But the other two are restaurants.
Yeah.
So you were in a whole different line of work before you even got involved in any of that. I know you were doing IT stuff.
Yeah, I went
you
to
did
school.
some HVAC stuff you went to school for. So how did you fall into, did it just fall into your lap, or how did you come about deciding that that's the path that you wanted to go?
That's a long story, dude. It's a good question though, because like you were saying, I went to school for computer networking technology. And then after that, I got a job in IT. I was working with tech systems. And I had a contract with them through charter or whatever. And then while I was doing that, my dad started a heating and cooling company. Mm-hmm. And he started getting big. And he's like, hey man, I may need your help. And I remember back then I was making like $600-$700 a week, which was really good back then. I'm talking about fucking 2003, almost 20 years ago almost.
Yeah, that was like fresh out of high school.
Yeah, no, it's fresh out of college, and $600-$700 a week was fucking legit, man. And my dad was like, hey man, look, my company's growing, I need some help. And I made the decision, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll quit. I quit that, and I went from making that, and my dad could only pay me like $250 a week, which was okay, because it was a family thing.
Yeah,
you know?
You got to sacrifice for the family.
I had a vision, like, hey, you know, we can make this go as big as we want. It's his own business.
Yeah.
So from that, it grew, and then we opened a company, a hood and duck cleaning company. So we started, and that cleans like kitchen systems, right? So
like hoods
and stuff,
hood system,
and then I started getting involved in that, and then I met a restaurant owner that was selling a restaurant, and he came up to me, he's like, hey, would you guys be interested in buying a restaurant? I'm like, maybe, you know, I was excited. And I talked to my dad about it, we had a meeting, and yeah, we got into it like that. We bought a restaurant that was already open, and man, it was
It's a big leap
hard.
though.
It is. I didn't know nothing about it, man. I didn't
Yeah.
know nothing about restaurants. I just, maybe my ambition or whatever, I just jumped into it.
Yeah.
And it sucked the first 2 years. I don't think I made any money the first 2 years. You know, just you don't know what you're doing. Oh, the menu, the employees. It was like, the bills. I'm like, holy shit. You know? But I think it's a good thing. Like we're talking about earlier, like when you struggle at first, that's what makes it worth it, man. And if you succeed through that bullshit, you'll be all right. And that's what happened. So the restaurant, it was hard. But then from there, I bought another one, and then I flipped another one, and then I got into the sports bar industry, and then from there, it just started growing, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I think owning your own business, you have the freedom to take it as far as you want to take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got to find a way to fight through the stress, or find a way that it doesn't stress you as much, and just keep going at it, man. And eventually you'll be all right, you know?
Yeah.
And I think...
And so I guess the more you do it, the easier it gets, or do you not think that?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to learn, because you can do it and not learn, and it's not get easy for you. You know what I mean? You just got to find the ways.
So what difference did you find in running something that is more food restaurant based compared to your sports bar that you have? Like, is there a difference? Is it harder?
In a different way. I mean, they're both hard, but in a different way, man. I mean, it's like in a restaurant, your rush hour, like it'd be dinner time, you're like 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
And then here it could be slow, but then it could picks up after 8. You know what I mean? It's just different. And then we serve food here too, so it's different. It's hard in its own way, each one.
Yeah.
But it's fun, you know. And I think me and you starting this podcast about the industry, going out to bars, that's fun, man. I like it, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah,
the drinking, and then the vibes, the energy, the socializing, and all that stuff, man. I think that's the other thing. If you like something, it's okay to just go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's scary though. Jumping into.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Well, no, I mean it's just scary, like making that jump, trying to. I think they say that like restaurants. I mean, how many? There's a certain percentage, like most of them fail.
Yeah, then the failure, you can look it up right now. For a restaurant, the first year, it's over 90%.
Yeah.
So the first year, most likely they're gonna fail.
It's like the make or break time is that first year, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's see, first restaurant failure. And like I told you, tequilas, I didn't make any money for 2 years.
Yeah.
But it keeps...
Let's see. The restaurant failure is difficult to track nationwide, but the National Restaurant Association estimates 30% failure rate in the restaurant industry. In other words, 1 in 3 restaurants won't survive their first year. So there's that first year thing. So 30%.
1 in 3. That's that's not good odds.
Yeah, and you got 3.
Yeah.
And 1 year's, your Mexican restaurant. You're finally making money. You're doing good. It's profitable
that one's
now.
solid. I mean, we've been
that one takes care.
Years.
That one runs itself anymore now.
Yeah, they're established.
But then your other one, you're getting like awards and stuff for like best burritos and tacos. And
same thing happened there. We opened 2015, and we didn't make any money, man. I was one of the first taquerias, which is more authentic. I don't think people were ready for that, but people caught on. It took that probably took about another 2 years to make any money.
Yeah,
you know, it's come a long way, and then
you're set up like Chipotle.
Yeah,
so that was probably your biggest competition, you think?
Yeah,
is trying to compete with Chipotle as far as like that same concept.
Yeah,
but
we haven't close by, but you can look at the reviews, and there's a big difference there.
Yeah, the authenticity speaks for itself. So, but yeah, now you're getting like best burrito and.
We got
or whatever the award was.
A couple of years ago, we were on the news. So I think it was second or third best taco around the area.
Yeah.
And then we worked with the Cardinals years ago.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, you can see we were working with Carlos Martinez with his charities.
Oh yeah, well it's his charity. It's Tsunami Waves, where he was like raising money. It was for people down in the Dominican or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. We sent used equipment to little kids and stuff. Not trying to get into.
Oh, it was like they had. For like baseball or just any sports in general.
It's
probably baseball being for Carlos Martinez. Man, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you've been in the industry too, right?
Yeah, like briefly. Like, so I got out of school and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I felt this like pressure to like do something, and so
we all have that.
I decided to do like culinary school. So a lot of people out there don't. I wasn't really in that profession for very long. because I thought it was something I was passionate about, and I went to school for it, and I got a degree in it and everything. And I worked in industry for like a little while, but I quickly found out that I was like almost forcing that on myself to like try and be passionate about that. And then I quickly realized that it wasn't something I was really passionate about. You know, working in different kitchens and stuff like that. I still have friends that work in the industry that still do it to this day, and that just shows you right there like how much more passionate about it they were than me, because there's a handful of people I can think of that have gone on to do many great things. I know a guy who's opened up a bunch of restaurants. I have another friend who was sous chef, I think, down at Cinder House downtown. So I know a handful of people that were doing really great things.
Passionate about it. Yeah, I mean,
they're passionate about it, and I didn't want to do it anymore because I wasn't passionate about it. But that's the thing about working in kitchens or in the culinary industry. When you're first starting off, it's cutthroat, man. You're not making that great of money. Your hours are long. You got to put in a lot of work to move your way up the ladder. And some of these people are just good at what they do, and I was just like, I wasn't that guy, you know. It just wasn't my passion, you know. Yeah. So, but it was fun. I met a lot of great people working in that industry. I worked, you know, when I was kind of like falling out of it, just living paycheck to paycheck. I kind of started working at a couple bars, like right at the end there. There was a bar that was like right down the street from me. It's Shooters out in O'Fallon. I met a lot of good people there, but you kind of learn about the bar industry there, and I, you know, I love people that work at bars, like our bartenders and our servers, and that
Would you ever bartend?
No, I never bartended.
You should try that,
man. I don't know. I think that's a whole different animal. Like working in a kitchen is one thing. You know, I feel like there's bartenders that I know that would have no clue what to do in a kitchen, and same with me. Like when I worked in kitchens, like I would have no clue what to do, like behind the bar. Like if you asked me to go back there and like make you a drink, I'd have no clue what I was doing. I could watch it so many times how to make one, but it's a whole different.
Good money.
It's a different flow, you know.
Yeah, but it's good money because I told one of my bartenders one time, I was like, "Can you train me to bartend? Because I see the tips you get, and I want some." You know?
But you've had people that work for you that you've sent to bartending school, which is cool. But a lot of places won't do that, you know. But you help them out, and that like that bartending school, it's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a 2-week course, and they give you a book. They test. It's they give you a diploma and everything.
Yeah,
I like to invest in the employees. I mean,
because I wonder how many people that work in the industry. You got to think, probably not a lot of people go to bartending school. It's not a very popular thing, I don't think. I think a lot of people get thrown into it. I feel like it's something that's like you start off as like a server, and I feel like every server's goal is to like get to a bartender. But I think putting yourself in that environment and just watching, you learn a lot, and then you kind of just get tossed in there, you know. Yeah. So.
Well, like we were talking about being passionate about what you do. Some bartenders do want to go to school and they take it to a different level, man. You know, they can go bartend in places and make a lot of money, and there's levels to everything. So I guess you can say, I don't know, like anybody, not anybody. I don't want to say, because it makes it sound weird if I say anybody can bartend, because not really, but yeah, I mean, you can jump into it, but if you go, there's levels to it to where if you go to this bartending school, you know, you take it to a different level, man. There's good bartenders out there.
Yeah. I've met some amazing bartenders, and I think it's, like you said, they make great money, so.
They do.
Some people have been.
They do.
Some people have been doing this for years, because it's such a good. You can make some good income doing it. You work at the right place. You build the right clientele.
We're going to have Adriana, one of my bartenders, here today, and we'll ask her about that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll ask her to see what she thinks. She's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
She's worked at a lot of places around, like Silver Creek. And I always get good compliments from customers, like, "Oh, man, you got a good bartender. She's a great bartender. Oh, she knows how to do this. She's very great." She's one of the girls that I get a lot of compliments from. Like, they really like her. She knows what she's doing. She's a good bartender.
Hi guys, I'm Adriana. I work at Next Up Sports Bar and Grill. Today I'm going to be making the Adriee special. It's kind of my twist on the green tea. There was a little mistake one night, you know, working in the bar, something's always going to be in the wrong place. So we'll get right to it. It's the Adriee special. First you fill your shaker with ice. You're going to get a full shot of Jameson. And then half a shot of peach schnapps. I do usually about like a 4 count of pineapple juice. First, we're gonna shake it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Put your top on, shake it up. That's right. Fill your glass with some ice. Pour that into there. Top it off with some Sprite. Add your little mixer straws. And there you go. It's the Adriee special, and it's great for end of your shift drink.
So I'm like mad impressed with like any of the bartenders out there that just like do their thing back there, you know, because
they can
it's
multitask and then and everything with a smile. Like maybe inside their head, like, man, get the fuck away from me. What the hey, how you doing? Can I get you a drink? Yeah, sure.
Right.
I was like, here you go. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you always get the guys that are like, hey, I need a drink. Hey, you know, like, and that could be overwhelming.
Yeah, I got you. And then, yeah, man, now that I think about it, like, how do you keep track of all the drinks and putting everything in the computer and with the smile looking great? And, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to be, got to have that smile on your face, that's for sure.
Yeah, and servers are good at that too, man. We have some servers on too, you know. They're like, hey, hi, I'll be your server today. How you doing?
But they deal with some shit too.
They do.
Can I get a side of ranch? Can I get another side of ranch? Can I get more ranch? Yeah. Like, damn, I'm just gonna bring you the bottle.
Yeah. No, it's an awesome industry, man. And like, and the other thing is, I think most of us start like breaking the workforce in a restaurant. You know, when you're young.
Yeah.
That's where most kids start.
Did you ever work in a restaurant before you owned one?
Oh, hell yeah.
What'd you do?
My first job was, my first job in the restaurant was McDonald's.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like maybe 15, and I think I got fired the third day.
Were you eating all the cheeseburgers?
No, but I called off right away because I wanted to hang out. Party, and I was a kid.
That's a struggle too these days. When you get a younger generation that works for you, you know, they're still kind of in that party zone and they want to get out and they want to do things and they want to call off of work.
They do.
But
it's just a balance, man. You know, you got to work and you can party too. I mean, you just got to find that balance.
Yeah.
And I found out real fast because I called off the third day. I was like, and I was with my friends. Like, hey, you should call up, man. Let's go hang out. I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, and I call, hey, I'm sick. I can't go in, man.
The first restaurant I ever worked in, I was a busboy, and it was at I guess you could call it like a formal, like a fine dining Italian place. It's downtown. It's next to Union Station. It's called Lombardo's Trattoria.
Is that still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's connected to the Drury Inn. It's underneath the Drury Inn. And I was like, waters, you know, first time like holding the tray. And I was like, I spilled the water on a lady. It like fell off the tray. And I was like, oh my God, this is not for me. You want to talk about nerve-wracking, not knowing what the hell you're doing. But yeah, it's
part of it. I hire,
and it's different too because it's like more fine dining. And so people are always dressed nice when they come in.
You fucked somebody's day up, man.
I'm just glad it wasn't like wine or like soda. It was just water. But yeah, that was a big. I remember when I worked.
Yelled at like, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking kid?"
Yeah, I think so.
You fired.
Yeah, and like the guy that worked, I think he was like he reminded me of kind of like of a Tony Soprano type.
No shit.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Forget about it. You're fired. Yeah, so.
Oh, this guy with the water. This guy with the water.
The fucking water.
That's yeah, man. I mean, I hire kids all the time because that's the restaurant industry, and I always. Like I see the way they learn. Like you fuck up, you gotta let them fuck up a little bit, and then they get it. They eventually become.
Yeah.
You gotta break into the workforce somehow, some way.
Right.
And I mean, we've all fucked up. Everybody fucks up. Yeah. At some point.
Players fuck up.
Yeah. And you just, I don't know, work through that, man. And some people don't learn, but most of us do. Most of us do. Is like, oh, I know how to grab that tray now. Like.
Yeah. That's
I
nerve-wracking.
used 2 hands this time. How you doing?
Hey, that's how I did it after I got yelled at. I was like, I'm just going to carry it with 2 hands.
And then next time you're like, oh, shit. 2 hands.
I was like in what is it, like when you're in school and you're all nervous, like on your first day, like carrying your lunch tray in the cafeteria because you're afraid you're going to drop it and embarrass yourself in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. School, right?
But as far as like younger people working for you, you hired like around your area where all your bars and restaurants, you've hired like
high school kids from
all the
area.
kids, like you've given a lot of kids their first jobs.
Yeah. And I have good managers, good employees that have been with me for a long time, and they take their time with them,
Yeah.
And like I said, every now and then there's a guy that just don't want to learn,
Yeah.
But most of them, you work with them, and then I've noticed like the kids that play sports, they're the best employees.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I always noticed that the kids that are like in the
the
football
discipline.
team, they're team players. They're hard workers. I don't know, but
It's probably the teamwork
Over the
aspect
years,
and the
I've
discipline
hired-
that it takes to like play sports and
maybe so. Over the years, I've hired probably hundreds of high school kids, like as a host or cleaning tables, whatever.
yeah.
And I've noticed that the kids that play sports are the better employees. I can't like pinpoint like exactly what it is, but yeah, they're team players. I mean, they're better workers. They hustle, I don't know, maybe because the coach is always yelling at them or something. Like, they really just get the job done. Like, hey, man,
Right.
hey, you got to go do this. And some kids are like, yeah, and the other kids, all right, they just get the shit done.
They just go to it, yeah.
Yeah, so I've noticed that. But yeah, like you were talking about kids, being embarrassed. I remember I had a story because when I was in school, so I'm Mexican, right? My parents are Mexican. And my mom made me lunch, dude. My mom can cook some Mexican food like you have no idea. And she made me some badass quesadillas, dude. And she wrapped them up in this like towel. It was all fucked up looking. And I was in school in the quesadillas, and people were looking at me weird, like, what the fuck is this dude eating? And I feel embarrassed a little bit. But now that I'm older, I'm like, dude, you have no idea the quesadillas that I'm eating right now. You know what I mean? Like, why was I embarrassed back then? Why was I embarrassed? Like,
Because it was like different.
Yeah, but it was a towel, cheap, so this thing warmed.
And
the
everybody
cheese
was eating that
everything. I was like,
shitty ass
I was like,
cafeteria
look
food.
at this. I was in like in a plastic bag. I feel embarrassed, but dude, it was some badass quesadillas that everybody wished they would have.
She
had
like
back
sent you
then.
with like a thermos of like margaritas.
Yeah, man. But so yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I was always buy my lunch at school type kid. Yeah, I didn't take my lunch much.
Really, not once?
I mean, a few times, but
Yeah.
it was always I just buy my lunch at school.
You got
But
the
the-
square pizza and all that shit.
Yeah, like the they bake it on like a big like baking tray, So
Always dealing with the lunch lady, like fucking mad ass on it.
25 cents for milk. Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out to some more of these bars out here.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get more involved in the industry, man. So, and then let's get people involved too.
Yeah,
We got a reminder. There's a number that we have that you can call. Any opinions? If you're out and about to a bar, you want to let us know something about it, give us a call.
yeah.
If you're a bartender and then you want to come on the show and talk, or maybe make some drinks, or like even promote where you work, we'll be down for that. So
We talked to so many people, though. I mean,
Yeah.
just here in the past like few weeks, we've talked to so many people that, man, they've got some great stories.
They
And in
do.
particular, and I'm hoping we can get them on. What I hope to reach out to them here soon was the door guys that work down at Larry Flint's.
Yes.
The one
Shout out to
guy-
Larry Flint's.
I think what's his name, AJ.
AJ.
I think AJ.
Yeah.
We talked to AJ for like
Those
a half
guys
hour, and he
have
rattled off like 4
stories.
different stories that had my jaw on the floor. Like, and those guys have worked as bouncers just all around the St. Louis area for years,
yeah,
and they've got some of the craziest stories.
And I know a lot of door guys. I've worked with a lot of door guys too, and yeah, they all have their own story. We could have a door guy episode. Maybe like 3 or 4 guys and just the killers, like have
killers.
those guys have some good stories. And I told him about the podcast. Hey,
Yeah.
give me your number. He said he would want to, but
Yeah, people are busy.
I know.
It's so hard, like
gonna
so many
reach out to-
scheduling conflicts anymore with
I know.
everybody,
I'm gonna reach out to them. Maybe we can have an episode and talk about the stories they have,
Yeah.
because that's part of the industry, bouncers, and those guys can deal with some wild shit, especially in the strip clubs.
That's that end of the stop, at the last stop of the night type place. Everybody's all fucked up half the time by the time they get there. You get that liquor flowing in you. Fall in love with a girl.
And everybody's somebody, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh, you know who I am? And I was drunk. And then he goes, and that's where the door guy comes in. Like, you know, and that's what he was talking about, you know, like kicking people out. And
yeah. Well, that's amazing to me. So you've got that, but then think about the other beast that lives around this area, and that's Pop's nightclub that doesn't close.
Yeah.
You know, a strip club will close, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever time they close.
Yeah, it's
but
like
Pop's is like, you could literally go there and stay there all day, all night.
So listen, if you go to a bar, after midnight is one world. After 2 a.m., it's a different world. After 3 a.m., man, if you're out there, you're in hell, man. Like, it's a different world out there, dude.
Yeah.
Like, now you imagine Pops, 5 in the morning? Woo.
I've done that.
I know we have. I'm not proud.
It's a rough day.
Dude, coming out of the club and it's daylight out, I'm like, man, what am I doing? I go depressed and shit. Like, what am I doing with my life, man? Why am I out here? It's fucking daylight. I'm fucked up. What am I doing?
Yeah. So.
But you gotta live it and learn. It's I think it's cool, man. But yeah, like after 3 a.m., it's a different world out there in this industry, man.
Yeah.
And there's still a workforce that takes care of all that. The door guys.
Yeah, and those are the people that we want to
the
talk.
bartenders working the late hours. This is a whole industry still out there hustling at those hours and dealing with that life and the shit that goes on after 3 a.m., man.
Yeah. And that's
Like
the goal of the podcast, is bring those people in, man. We want those people that are the backbone of that industry. Those are the people that we love the most, man. So we're looking for those stories.
And some of those stories need to be heard.
Yeah.
And I think this podcast will be a good venue for that. Like a good, not a venue, like a good, what do you call it?
Good platform.
Yeah, good platform.
Yeah, good platform for everybody to talk. So. All right, guys, and don't forget to follow us on all of our social media accounts. Make sure you like, comment,
subscribe,
and remember, don't be late for your next shift.